Hi, Gordon. I'm Maya.
Hello there, Maya.
Welcome to Bilgi.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure.
Could you just tell us what your impressions are of the conference today so far?
Well, this is always one of the most special conferences that I go to because it is fun. Yeah, it's compact with a lot to learn in a short period of time, and I think it's the most effective way to do it.
Cool. Well, we're really glad to have you.
Thank you.
I want to ask you a couple questions, one more general about the conference, and then the other a little bit more focused on your talk. We'll go with general first. What is the thing that you think is the most exciting or promising or interesting about teaching and learning in the post-method era?
Right. Ooh, that's a hard question. But I think the most interesting part about that is being able to redefine pathways. And I think it's also the connection between what is there before and what is new. It doesn't mean complete change, but it means an adaptation. So I think that's the interesting part here, is to understand how we can connect those two. And that's what we're seeing here right now in all the conversations I'm having.
All right, thank you. And then also in your talk, you talked a lot about sort of the role of technology in teaching, and you gave us a lot to think about in terms of challenges and sort of what's ahead. I guess one of the things I'm still thinking about is, as a teacher, how can I get involved in being part of the feedback process into creating better technologies? So maybe especially at a laureate university, since that's where you are.
Sure.
So if you have any tips to share with us as teachers about how we can be more involved.
Sure. Well, certainly at a laureate institution, we have the community of practice, which we're about to open up to teachers. It's been mostly directors up until now, but now in the next month or so, you're going to learn about that, and that's going to be the focal point for all kinds of best practice sharing and learning from each other. So that is certainly there. And also in the broader world, there are lots and lots of organizations which encourage this kind of communication and sharing, be it from the IATEFL groups to the TESOL groups, the webheads, and I think that it's all out there and waiting to be taken advantage of. It's just a question of finding the time, I think, but certainly there. And then finally, the publishers themselves are really eager to have feedback from the field, and so one of the things that I would encourage people to do is to contact the publisher if you have a specific book that you adopt in your program, and encourage that and try and see if you can get involved, and I'm sure they'll be open to that.
Okay, and then can I ask you one more silly question?
Of course.
So many of us end up with a bunch of students in our classrooms who cannot detach their cell phone from their hand at any point in the classroom. And I'm sort of, it seems like there's got to be a role for this technology somewhere. What do you think about that in terms of a teaching challenge?
Right, that's a really interesting question. And actually, Nikki Hockley, for example, has written an interesting book about uses of mobile in the classroom. And so you can do a lot with that, with those devices. I think, when you just think about the fact that you can record yourself, you can take videos, you can listen to things, you can search. I mean, there are a lot of things that can happen. That they are a distraction goes without saying. I mean, the other alternative is just to collect them and pile them up and then give them back. But I think it's really a question now is how do you harness it into your teaching process and integrate it in a way that is predictable, so that they really aren't just sitting there texting and doing things like that. So yeah, I mean, it seems like, as I said in the talk, cloud and mobile are where it's at. So if we can give guidelines to that, that's going to be the way to go. But you can't get rid of it, not at all.
All right, thank you so much, and have a great rest of the conference.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks.